Hey everyone, so today I've got a slightly different proposition here for you to show you how to use a sewing machine. Now most sewing machines will have pretty straightforward and very similar setups. Mine's called a Janome. So I'm going to show you how to actually get the machine threaded up and set up, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like when you've actually sewn something. Now my son ripped a pair of trousers today, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see that here, there's a big hole in them, and I'm going to sew those up because obviously it's only September and we're quite near the start of term still. So I've already got a bobbin which I used before in my sewing machine. It goes in this, let's just move it along a bit. There we go. It goes in this little section in here, and I will do another video on that later on. So you have the bobbin in at the bottom, and then the bobbin thread threads up through the hole in the base of the sewing machine here. So what I need to do is thread my sewing thread here on the machine so that I can actually sew with it. So what I need to do, let's just turn it a bit more, is I'm going to push up one of these little, I don't know what you call them, like little holders, and I'm going to put my yarn actually on it. Well, I would do if I had a hole in it. I'll have to go and get a different yarn. Oh, there we are. There we go, perfect. So that's hopefully, actually, make it a bit, take this one off. Put it up again. There we go. So that's going to go round, and that will take the thread that I need. And then what I'm going to do, it's going to move you a little bit nearer, is I'm going to bring the thread across and I'm going to put it through. Now my one's got numbers on, so I've got like number 1 here, and then I've got number 2 down here and number 3. So it does tell me how, where to go next. So I'm going to put it through number 2, and then I'm going to bring it down, and it has to come up this one here. So let's just try and click that in. Oh, hang on, I've got caught here. Do that one again. So through there, bring it down, and it has to come back up again. There we are. And then I've got to thread it through this little eye here. So I'm going to lift it up and thread it through. I've got quite a bit of thread here. Okay, and I'm going to thread it through there, like this. Okay. And it comes down again, and it's got to go around the back of this metal bit here. And then I bring it through the back of a wire bit just there, and I'm going to thread my needle. So I'm just going to turn it on. Plug. There we go. Right, so that's now turned on. So if we go a little bit lower, hopefully it'll let me low. Yeah, there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread this teeny tiny needle here. Now, I always go through from front to back, and it's always very, very tricky to actually thread the needle because you've got this tiny little eye right there, and it is really, really difficult. I might go and get some scissors actually and just cut that little bit off to make it a bit better. Get some scissors. Some scissors, not my normal ones. Let's grab these ones for now. Okay, so I'm just going to cut a little bit off here. Let's try that again. There we go. And I'm going to now thread up the eye. Now, it's always good to have the needle as high as it will go. Has that done it? No, let's try that again. Like I say, it's really difficult to thread these up, so I may have to come back once I've done it. Let's lift it a bit higher. There we go. Ah, there we are. I've done it. It's in. So it's gone from front to back. And then what you do is you put it through where you're going to be sewing. So you've now got 2 threads together. Right, now what we need to do, I'll bring it across just a little bit, is we can start to sew. Now, I'm just literally just going to do a rough sew here, just so you can see what you need to do. So I'm just going to try and keep the seam as straight as possible. I'm not going to overthink it too much. Right, so now, let's just bring this back, just so you can see a bit better. So this is the seam here that I'm going to sew. So I'm literally going to put where I'm going to start to sew under the guide, as far back as I want it to go. Hopefully that's the edge. And I'm going to put my little handle down. And now I can start to sew it up. So all you do is I've got a little treadle at the bottom. And I'm just going to literally just start to sew it very gently. I'm going to rewind it a little bit. I've got a little rewind button, just to make sure it actually goes in properly. And then I can press it again. And you can go as fast or as slow as you want. So I'm going to go to the very end. I think the hole's gone right to the very end on these, which is annoying. Here we are. Let's just get to the very end. And I'm going to reverse it again. And I'm going to come forward again. And I'm going to lift up and pull out. Get my scissors and cut. And let's see what we're left with. So you can just about see that I've got a little grey line of stitches there. And then hopefully if I turn it around, hopefully there'll be no hole. And there is no hole, okay? So this is where I've just sewed up here. It needs an iron, but as you can see, there's no hole there now. Hope that's helped you, and I will do some more sort of home tips again soon. Take care, bye.